This is part 5 of the Read 1C Vise Rebuild series. If you haven't seen part 4, click the link at the top of the screen. In this video, we will finish cleaning up some parts and then get to the final assembly. Hello everyone, I'm Jeff and welcome to my shop. We got a lot to cover, so let's get to it. Alright, here we are at the bench grinder, and we've got a couple parts that we had originally put in a plastic bin with some WD-40 on them, just to keep them from rusting, and now we're just going to clean them up with the wire wheel. So we basically put them in some simple green for about an hour and then rinsed them off and dried them off. This is the half nut for the spindle, and this is the big screw that goes in the bottom of the base, and then these are the 4 rods that hold in the pipe jaws. And all these parts we're cleaning up, and then we're just going to coat them with the super slick stuff. They're not going to get any paint or anything like that. And this is the split threaded pin for the main nut. And these are the various set screws for that pin and the half nut or split nut. So that's all of them cleaned up on the wire wheel. And here we're just going to coat them with the super slick stuff. We'll flip them over and then lightly dry them off with the paper towel. So on one of my personal vices, I ended up coating all of these parts with KG metal coating, which is similar to Cerakote. It's a firearms treatment, but it embeds the metal with a Teflon moly, but I decided not to do it for this project. So this is the lettering that is on the side of the static jaw, and I'm using an enamel paint marker. I've got 2 different size ones here because we got really small letters and then big letters. Basically, we're just tracing the outer top part of them. If it bleeds down in there, we're trying to clean it up a little bit with the Q-tips and a paintbrush, but yeah, it's not perfect. Then again, it is a vise, so I guess another way to do this would have been to just lightly sand all these letters, and that would remove the paint and the primer and expose the raw cast iron. But I prefer to paint them. And the best part is that if any of this paint comes off due to wear or something like that, you can always come back and touch it up with a paint pen. So this is a silver metallic paint pen. You can get these anywhere, Walmart, Hobby Lobby, you name it. And then we've just got the oil lettering here on this dynamic jaw. So we'll let that stuff sit and dry for a couple hours and come back. So here we are with the replacement jaws, and I ordered them from Antique Vises, and they come with screws. So antiquevises.com. They were, I think, $140 for the set. We're going to be using super lube to lube the vise. So the first thing we're going to be doing is lubing up the 2 tooth locking paws and inserting them into the swivel base. Then we're going to lube that ring, the two rings, the outer and the inner ring, on the swivel base Then we can install the static jaw and base. And then install the locks for the swivel jaws or paws, claws, whatever you want to call them. We'll lock it all down. I think I've got it off center just a little bit, but it's fine. Next, we're going to lube all of those milled surfaces inside the static jaw and base. If you recall, they're on all four sides. Once we've got those lubed, we're going to lube it's kind of a keyway that the main nut is going to go into. Then we're going to lube up the main nut. Remember, we made that indexing mark, and that needs to face towards the top of the screen as you're looking at it here. And that paint that's on the inside is causing it to bind up just a little bit. So we'll just tap it home with a brass tip hammer. And we're going to hold off on installing the split threaded locking pin. This is the screw that connects the swivel base to the static jaw. We're just going to go ahead and install it. We lubed it up a little bit, and then we'll tighten it down. So here we are with the dynamic jaw, and we're going to lube up that bore that the spindle and the half nut ride in. And remember, we got that washer out of there, so we're going to need to, I'm going to lube deep down inside that bore, and then we're going to lube up that washer. I think Jordan said he's going to install a bearing in here once he gets it back. And then we've got the spindle, and we're going to lube it up. And then the half nut, or split nut. And as we slide the spindle in there, we can install the two split nut halves. Remember, those little index divots need to be facing away from the vise, or up as we're looking at it here, so that we can tighten it down. Once we've got it started, we're going to go ahead and install the jaws, or the jaw caps. Now, I thought these things were symmetrical, but they're not. When I try to install the first screw here, it doesn't want to go in, so I flip the jaws in 180 degrees, and then they installed perfectly. So the top and the bottom of the jaw, where the holes for the mounting screws are slightly off center. But they fit perfectly. And then this is the pipe jaw, and we'll install the two pins. Then we just need to drive those home and get them kind of even on both sides. They're not going to be perfect because the pipe jaws have about 1/4 of an inch play left to right inside the hole that they mount in. And I think that's by design. So these are, or this is the jaw cap for the dynamic jaw. And then the pipe jaw for the dynamic jaw. and the 2 pins. And these were a little bit harder to get in. Had to play with them a lot more, but no big deal. We managed to do that without marring up the vise at all. Now we'll just install the dynamic jaw into the static jaw. And I don't want to mess up the paint job, so I'm just using some of that parchment paper to hold the static jaw in place while I crank on the dynamic. I'm sorry that it's out of the camera's view. Then we're going to go ahead and adjust that half nut or split nut so that the spindle, we're taking up the play in the spindle. That's the whole purpose of that. We want it to function smoothly, but we don't want it to bind up, or we don't want it to have too much slop in it. So once we've got it where we want it, then we can go ahead and install the set screw. This is a cone point set screw. We're just going to lube that threaded hole there for it. And then tightening that screw down will apply force to the half nuts as well, or the split nut, and cause it to bind up a little bit. So you got to kind of play with how tight you put that screw in. If you're worried about losing that screw, you could just put some Loctite on it. I didn't bother with that. Now we're going to back the dynamic jaw out so that we can get that split threaded pin in there to hold the nut in place, and then install the set screw for it. And we'll close the vise back up. And ta-da! We are done assembling the vise. So these are the before pictures. And we replaced those brass jaws with hardened steel jaws. Other than that, everything is original on the vise except for the paint, I guess. And these are the final pictures. I like this paint. I like the shade of it and the fact that it's matte. I do like glossy paints as well, but for this project, I think the matte in this royal blue or ink blue, I don't remember what it was called, just looks great. And the metallic silver lettering really pops. So it's a good looking vise. This is the next project I've got coming up. So I have 2 Emerson Gen 2 drill presses here. One of them is a bench top and the other one is a floor drill press. And to the right there, I've got an extra column and base. So I'm going to be making them both floor standing drill presses. And we're going to rebuild both of these at the same time. But that is the next project on my list. So this completes the Reed 1C Vise Rebuild series. I hope you enjoyed it. I liked working on it. It was a great little project, and I really dig Reed Vises. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. If you've got any questions or comments, leave them in the section below. And as always, I appreciate the support, and I will see you next time.